Franz Liszt, one of the most brilliant pianists and composers of all time, was a man of extraordinary talent and larger-than-life charisma. His name was synonymous with musical genius, passion, and an almost supernatural presence on stage. But in 1849, he had a brush with death that could have ended his legendary career in an instant. It was an event so strange, so dramatic, that some believed it was fate, divine intervention, or even proof that Liszt was somehow protected by forces beyond human understanding. The story goes that Liszt was playing the piano during a private performance when, without warning, a massive chandelier hanging above him suddenly broke free and came crashing down. Given the weight and size of such chandeliers in 19th-century European concert halls and grand salons, the impact would have almost certainly been fatal. Yet, in a moment of sheer luck, or perhaps something more, Liszt walked away completely unharmed. The chandelier smashed onto the piano, shattering into pieces, but Liszt, seemingly untouched, continued to exist as though fate had decided that his time had not yet come. The witnesses present were stunned. Some whispered that it was divine protection, a sign that Liszt was destined for something greater. Others, particularly his admirers, saw it as proof that he had supernatural luck. Some even speculated that Liszt had an almost mystical connection with music, and that this power somehow shielded him from harm. At the height of Lisztomania, when crowds worshipped him like a living god, the idea that he was invincible only fueled the legend surrounding him. It wasn't the first time that Liszt's life seemed touched by mystery. Throughout his career, he was known for his otherworldly performances, his ability to hypnotize audiences with his playing, and the almost trance-like state he entered when lost in the music. Some even joked that he had made a deal with the devil, a rumor that followed him just as it had followed Paganini before him. Could it be that some unseen force had truly spared him that day? The incident became part of the growing myth of Franz Liszt. Newspapers and biographers referenced it as yet another example of his remarkable existence, where music and destiny seemed to intertwine in ways no ordinary person could understand. Even those who dismissed superstition had to admit that the chances of him surviving such an accident without a scratch were astonishing. Liszt himself never spoke much about the event, perhaps unwilling to feed into the mystical aura surrounding him. But whether or not he believed in fate, there was no denying that he had been incredibly lucky. Had the chandelier fallen just a second later, or at a slightly different angle, the world might have lost one of its greatest musical minds far too soon. Instead, Liszt went on to live a long and prolific life, composing some of the most revolutionary piano works ever written, inspiring countless musicians, and even taking religious orders later in life. But to those who knew the story, there was always the lingering thought, what if? What if that chandelier had taken him from the world in 1849? What music would have been lost? What impact would it have had on the course of classical music? Perhaps, in the end, Liszt's survival was more than just luck, it was a sign that his story was far from over. The legend of the great pianist would only continue to grow, and the mystery of that fateful day would remain one of the strangest and most intriguing moments in his extraordinary life.